Dr. Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Welsh, I'm encouraged by the Air Force's plans to move forward on recapitalization of the weapons storage facilities, and was disappointed that despite the Schlesinger report that the previous facilities were decertified, but I'm glad we're back on track. So would you comment on the weapons storage facility recapitalization programs in terms of timeline and what we can expect for the near future?
We have over this next year roughly $40 million in our budget in 17 to move forward with that effort. It's almost $700 million over the FIDA. As you know, F.E. Warren is being done right now. The weapons storage facility is being renovated. The next step is Barksdale, and that would begin in 18. Beyond Barksdale, then I think the order after that would be Malmstrom and then Whiteman. And so that we're on track. It's funded. The plans are in place, and we think the design work that we've done so far in F.E. Warren has been very well done. It'll provide us a standard footprint that we can then modify as appropriate for each wing, and that contract should be let this year. Okay,
great news. Okay, General Milley, I certainly want to endorse your comments you made a few weeks ago about the Army not planning to cut one more infantry brigade. We feel like we're already below where we should be on this. I'm very interested to learn about the Army's repatching initiative. I understand that this will not impact active duty forces structure within the 310 Brigade at Fort Polk, and would like to know more about this concept of repatching. I've not heard of that before. Okay. So if you could comment and expand on that.
Yeah, repatching is probably a misnomer if that's what people have mentioned to you. So what we're looking at is really associated units. We took a page out of the Air Force. So associated units between the National Guard and the active component of the regular Army. Years ago, there was a concept called roundout. It's very similar to that. It's not exactly the same. And I want it to go both ways in the sense of National Guard units are affiliated or associated with regular Army divisions or brigades, and they're essentially rounding out that force structure. And then it can go the other way as well. Specifically with 310, we're looking at putting 310. I think we said for them Texas. Texas. I might be wrong on the division, but
I believe it is Texas.
To make them part of the 36th Division.
Yes.
And that was an option. It has not yet been decided, by the way. These are options that are coming forward after, and we're going to do rigorous analysis and study that is ongoing with the Army staff, and ultimately the Secretary of the Army will be the guy making the decision. But the idea is to associate National Guard with active duty component units, and we think that will overall increase the readiness of both components. So that's the idea behind it.
Right. You don't anticipate any change in manpower at Fort Polk? My understanding is
no, it would.
While these active duty members would be, in essence, assigned to the National Guard in Texas, they would remain stationed at Fort Polk.
They'd be regular Army active duty soldiers. They would remain at their base station. There would be no budgetary implications in terms of 12304 funds or mobilization fund or any of that kind of stuff. This is an association of active and reserve and National Guard units where they would train together, officer professional development classes, NCOPD. They'd do FTXs together. They'd go on deployments together, and so on and so forth. What we're trying to do is integrate the force to put teeth behind the idea of total force, make that real, to walk the walk, not just talk the talk sort of thing.
Right. Okay, that's great. Well, and I'll just say in closing, I just want to thank all of the chiefs and secretaries for being here today and the great service you provide to our nation. Thank you, and I yield back.